things that make INFPs resent you. Like, resent you, want to avoid you like the plague, and actually not like you. Okay, starting off with the first one, and this one is very simple. When you use them, INFPs will know very early on, especially if they're mature, if they've experienced this early, maybe they've had enough people do this to them when they were younger. So when they get older or more mature, they'll recognize when you're taking advantage of them. They will. Sometimes we're like really aware of it, but we don't say anything, and we won't say anything. We won't really come out and say, you're taking advantage of us. We just silently disappear into the shadows, never speak to you again. The other thing that makes us resent you is when we share our kindness with you, we're thoughtful with you, and then you aren't with us. An example of this is we give you our money, we give you our time, we give you whatever you need, and we're friends. And then when we, for whatever reason, get crazy and decide to go out of our character and ask you for help or for something, in the very rare times when we do that, because we're highly independent and don't like to ask people for stuff or inconvenience people, and then you get upset with us for asking when we have always been the ones giving to you, that's instant cut off friendship right there. That is resenting. We won't even resent you that long because you'll be out of our lives very, very soon after that. We'll never say anything to you ever again, and we'll leave. And we'll make excuses not to see you or not to talk to you, and you'll notice that we're avoiding you. And when you see us, don't ask us if we're avoiding you. It's very obvious. It doesn't need asking. The other thing is when you're constantly negative. Oh my God, I can't stand when people are constantly negative. You're happy and you're looking at the birds and you're looking at the sky. You're like, isn't that so beautiful? And let's watch this. Let's have fun. We just want to have fun. And all you want to do is just talk about negative stuff all the time, like politics and this person fighting this person fighting this person. It's okay to vent sometimes. But when that's always your MO and then you try to drag us down with you, we resent you for that. We will stay away from you like the plague. The other thing is when you feed off of us and don't do anything for yourself. You take us for granted. You want to be our friend, but it's always about us giving things to you or doing things for you. We like helping people and we like teaching people to help themselves. And when we try to teach you to help yourself and then you try to take us for granted, that makes us resent you. We don't like you after that. And it's very hard to get us to not like people. An example of this, I was an honor student. I was always top of my class. And so the teacher told this girl to ask me, to teach her or tutor her. So she came to me and she says, hey, can you help me? Can you help me? The final's coming up. I didn't have to even worry about studying for final. I was always good at school. I had studied and I always made these comic book things that made it so fun to study out of all my notes. So I was excited to share this with her because I found a way that was fun for me to study and I wanted to help her. I always like teaching people because I hate the way school does stuff because it's so boring. So I try to find elements that people like stories, drama, whatever it is. So I asked the girl, what do you like? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, I made these comics out of my notes. That's really fun. And we tried that and I tried to make it a game and songs. And I put in so much work for free so this girl would feel comfortable past her test. She was enjoying it. She was very happy. So I said, all you have to do here, you can take my notes. I don't need them. I already know the test. I already know it's going to be on it. And I, of course, aced my test, got 110 because of the bonus. And it was a huge test. So she took my notes and she says, thank you so much. The day of the test, I shitteth you not. She comes to me and she wants to cheat off my paper. So, of course, I have learned by this time, this is college, learned by this time to stand up for myself. And I was very resentful because I'm like, I wasted my time. I not only studied hard to make sure that I was prepared for the test, but I fucking wasted my time for the entire week teaching you and dedicating time to tutoring you so you could feel comfortable. And all I said was go over these notes, go over the story that I laid out for you in an illustrated 30-page graphic novel that a child would read and say, you know what, this is fun. Super, super easy. And now on the day of the test, you have the audacity to come to me and say you want to cheat off my paper? No. And I told her straight up, I said, no, I'm not doing that. I said, I stood there and I tutored you. She cussed me off. She cursed me off, threatened to beat me up. I mean, everything. I said, I understand that that's how you feel, but you're still not cheating off my fucking paper. She was so angry with me. Angry with me because I wouldn't let her cheat off my paper. Oh my God. I hated that person. I was like, no, this person is a piece of shit and I hope you fail. The other thing that we hate is when you manipulate us. Oh my gosh. We can see right through that. We understand when you're manipulating us. There are a lot of things that INFPs are very observant about. Super observant. You won't never know it because most of the time we don't say anything. And we can be manipulative too. The funny thing is, we're manipulative on a defensive scale. An example of this is my mother, I know I mentioned her a lot, INFJ, my dad's an ESFP, and my dad really wasn't. He was Catholic and he changed to Christianity for her, but my mom was super, super religious to a fault. And she was forcing me, this is around the time when I was becoming atheist, and I didn't know I was becoming atheist. I wanted to get closer to God or whatever, and I was asking all these questions, and she didn't like the fact that I was going down that road of asking certain questions because I noticed contradictions in the Bible. It was just glaringly obvious when you start to read it. Not a slight on anyone's belief. You can believe what you want. This is just my personal thing. So I wanted to, I just didn't want to go to church anymore because the church we were going to, just a lot of stuff. Just all you have to know is I just didn't want to go anymore. And I am an adult. I live in her house, yes, but I didn't want to go to church anymore. So she did not like the fact that I wasn't going to church. And she made my dad, I know she did, because she used to manipulate him. She made him come to me and talk to me. And he says, listen, as long as you're living in this house, you're going to go to church. Do you understand? So I was very, very upset. And I wasn't even upset at my dad because I know it wasn't him. I know it was her. My dad didn't even care that I wasn't going to church. He was like, whatever. And as soon as she said something, and I know she did, that's when he took an issue because then she used to punish him by withholding certain things from him, if you know what I mean, if he didn't do what she asked. I mean, she was narcissist to the upteenth level. So I did not like that. You trying to talk down, you trying to manipulate me in that manner and control me. The longest while it worked because she abused me. Let's just say she disciplined me, but it's past the point of discipline. When you get to that point where you are making your child feel as though they are the worst scum of the earth and telling them that we make you feel like you want to die and all this other stuff, that's abuse. So I said, okay, you know what? Watch this bitch. I was at the point where I was getting ready to move out anyway, and I had seen through my mom's bullshit and I was just tired of it. I had come to the point where enough was enough, and I decided, you know what? As much as I love you, Mom, I really don't like you as a person, and I'm not going to let you continue to manipulate me and belittle me. I don't care. At this point, I was like, if you slap me in the face or punch me I don't care. I'm just going to take it, but you're not going to make me do what you want. And if you kick me out, I will go gladly. And she knew that. She didn't want me to leave because the truth was I was also responsible for doing a lot of stuff in the house. So she needed me. And I was also her sounding board whenever she wanted to unleash all of her weird negative thoughts on me. So I said, you know what? All right, I got you, fam. Watch this. You want me to go to church, do you? And a part of it was a pride thing with her. She's very prideful. So me not going to church made her look bad to the people who were in church because it made it look like her family wasn't together. Trust me, I know my mom. That's how she is. So I decided to go to another church. Oh, and by the way, just to let you know how freaking psychotic she is, after my dad had told me that, I was in the bathroom. I'm using the bathroom in that intimate moment, you know, you want to be left alone. You're sitting on the toilet. She barges in because she doesn't respect privacy. So she barges in and she's all happy because she's gotten her way. And she can see that I'm angry because my dad just told me that. I know what it is. And she probably thinks, oh, good cop, bad cop. Daddy was the bad cop. And she comes in, do you like my dress? Because she just bought some dress off of some website. So I look at her and I'm like, yeah. First of all, I'm upset because I'm in the bathroom. I'm sitting in the bathroom. I'm trying to do my business. And you're in here. And usually when my mom sees that I'm upset, she'll be like, what's the matter with you? And this time, she already knew what it was. So she didn't say anything. She just kept on going about my dress and isn't it beautiful? Like a fucking psycho. And I'm like, yeah, it looks great. She's like, I'm thinking about wearing this with the other shoes. And she just kept on going on about it. And me, I was not hiding my face. I usually hide my face because she'd usually slap me if I have a face on that's upset. But as far as she knows, oh, you're upset with your dad. It's too bad you gotta go to church. And there was a moment that clicked in my head at that point when I was in the bathroom, like, you bitch. Oh, you watch. You can smile now. Let's see who's smiling tomorrow morning. Like, you think you can control me? You think you can manipulate me? Hold my fucking beer. I don't drink beer. Hold my PlayStation controller. And of the morning, and my brothers knew it too. We were all mistreated. And so we actually got closer because of her and how she used to treat us. So my little brothers, I was like, guys, I bet you this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to a different church in the morning, but I'm not going to tell Mom. I'm going to go to a different church and watch her reaction. It's not about church. It's bullshit. She's saying it's all about about church and my Christianity and she wants me to go to church. Fuck that. That's not what it's about. It's about pride and her wanting to control me to go to the church she wants me to go to so everyone can see that we're this happy little family. And they saw through the bullshit, but I told them, watch her face and watch what she says the next morning. Ha! Like clockwork. Guess what happened? The morning of, she was in the kitchen. Everyone's in the kitchen. My brothers were all watching. They were waiting. And I told them, it's time. I said, Daddy, I'm gonna go visit a church today. Another church. He was like, okay, baby. Because as far as he's concerned, the only issue my mom had was that I'm going to church. And I'm going to church. I'm just not going to your church. She was livid. When we came back home, she called a meeting and she's like, you know, we need to have this meeting and you don't think I know what you did when you decide to go to the church and blah, blah, blah. Oh, so it's okay for you to manipulate me, but I can't manipulate you back. And what was even the problem? Because I was going to church. So it's not about me going to church. I was like, I had a lot of fun. You know, and mind you, I'm an adult now. I'm not a minor. I'm an adult. What is the problem with me going to another church as long as I'm going to church? And that's when I knew. I mean, I already knew, but I also wanted my brothers to see that. And I had told my dad about that later. I saw through her bullshit. She's very manipulative, and I had even told her about that. And in that meeting, she brought that back, because she has a habit of doing that, where she will take something that you said to her in confidence and then throw it back in your face as a weapon. And she said, please let me know if I'm manipulating you. And she said it just like that. And I just looked at her because I saw through her bullshit, and I wasn't scared of her anymore. I was done being afraid of her. And I don't care, because I'm like, you know what? I'm not going. You're not gonna make me go. And talking down to me that way, continuing to try and manipulate me that way will make me more stubborn. If you want to see an INFP get stubborn and stand up to you and just cut you off completely and just dead you, try talking down to them. Continue provoking them. And then you'll see the nasty side of us. I can't be nasty because she's my mom, and I still grew up in a culture where I can't outwardly disrespect my mother and tell her or do what I really want to do, and I would never lay hands on my mother. But I was at the point where I'm like, the worst thing you can do to me right now is either kill me or kick me out, and you don't want to do either. Because if you kick me out, I will be like, yes, I'm just waiting for you to do it. I'm waiting for you to do it because I'm ready to do it. I need to save for more money, but I already had my stuff prepared to move out anyway, and she knew that's what I wanted. And if it's something I want, she doesn't want that. Isn't that weird? But yeah, that was an example of how we deal with stuff like that. When we recognize that you're trying to manipulate us, oh, we'll fight you, but we'll do it in that passive-aggressive kind of way that makes you look stupid. And she hated me making her look stupid. Oh my God. Because she realized that I called her bullshit. And everyone else saw me call her bullshit and saw through her bullshit. And that made her pissed. The next thing is when you try to smother us. My mom did this a lot. And there were other friends that tried to do this, and you don't give us her space. Holy moly. We will run from you. We will run from you, and we'll even resent you. Because even after you tell people, hey, can you give me some space? Like, I need to be alone. And you don't respect that? Oh boy. Butter the warthog's biscuits. That is the best way to get us to resent you and to avoid you. The next thing is when you try to tell us who we are or who we should be. This is another offshoot of trying to control us and manipulate us. But if we are a certain way and you have a problem with the way we are, and then you say, no, you're not like that. You're like this. Or you need to be like this. You shouldn't play with toys. You stop trying to be like, stop talking this way. Stop doing... Oh my God, that is the quickest way for us also to resent you and to want to stay away from you. How dare you come at us and tell us who we should be like we're your freaking slaves. INFPs like to be free. We like to live and to let live. We're like hippies. We love people. We don't want to be around them all the time, but we like people having the freedom to be themselves. We accept people mostly for the way they are. Just don't force your shit on me and don't expect me to live on your terms or speak the way you want me to speak. That does not work, especially when you come at it from a vitriolic angle. No, we will fight you tooth and nail. We do not like that. It's like trying to make a cat take a bath instead of asking the cat. If the cat says no, leave the cat alone. Cat will bathe itself. But if you try forcing that cat in the water, yes, the claws will come out. Speaking of cats, and the last one I'm going to put on this list, which might not be like the only ones on this list, but these are the ones I could think of, is if you hurt animals. There is a special place in my mind that I go to exact judgment on the people that hurt animals or hurt my loved ones. I will make myself enraged just imagining stories or scenarios where people hurt my loved ones and me going through weeks of torturing those people. I'm telling telling you, like, there is a dark side to us. Our imagination is used for a lot of beautiful things, but there are those villainous things that people don't know about us. Oh my God. I'm telling on us, INFPs, I'm sorry. But I've seen these things on YouTube. I've seen these channels on YouTube, people pretending to rescue animals and hurting them. And I just imagine the most vile, like, first of all, I imagine the animals coming back to life, the ones that they kill off, unfortunately, in a special kind of hatred and rage. And I imagine those animals coming back and me being able to talk to those animals and having those animals exact revenge on them very slowly and very painfully in the worst ways possible. I'm talking holding them down, biting them and letting venom slowly eat away at their skin. I'm talking about the animal becoming a big were version of itself and peeling pieces of their flesh off bit by bit. I'm talking about me having some kind of powers that kind of tear people apart and put them back together again and do it and allow it to happen like 3,000 years in a millisecond, but they can feel all of it. Like, you don't understand. When we see people hurt innocent things like animals, I mean, people are one thing, but animals, there's a special place in my heart for animals. And when I see, well, these animals can't talk, they can't defend themselves, and these people don't even do it for food. I can understand if you're killing an animal for food, but you're literally putting these animals in dangerous situations, and a lot of them die, and then you pretend to patch them up, and then you put it on YouTube for views, and people are there praising you for how wonderful you are. When we know you put the fucking animals there, I do not have a problem imagining these people being torn apart and tortured in the worst fucking ways possible. That is not just how you get us to resent you, that's how you get us to hate you. And INFPs don't hate very easily, but I can say, for me personally, that is something that makes me hate a person. Anyways, those are the ones I could think of off the top of the list. Yeah. It's always awkward when I have to close these videos. I don't even know what to say. And I don't want to be one of those weird people who just say weird outros. Okay, anyway.